Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a model launched in a 50-piece limited edition for 2017. This is the HYT H4 Neo 2 in its blue iteration. The watch is 51 millimeters in diameter in black DLC-coated grade 5 titanium. It is 19.1 millimeters thick, and it is 57.5 millimeters from lug to lug. All of which is to say, it's not terribly heavy for what it is, but it is large, very large. The watch, of course, is a little bit large for my wrist. I recommend you have a wrist of at least 17 centimeters circumference to wear this watch with a proper appearance of proportion. It would fit me and it would sit, but there is the gigantic profile of the watch on a wrist that in my case is perhaps just a little too small to pull this off. Now HYT is back as a company. They never stopped servicing the watches. Pressiflex, their sister company, handled that, but they are back, and these watches are fully serviceable, both parts and cleaning, oiling, and adjustment, so buy without fear. HYT is very much a going concern. The strap is a lovely piece. It is a combination of textile with a contrasting blue stitch and then a rubber base. You can see it's an HYT custom strap, and it is a factory strap in brand new condition. We have a deployant clasp here that is also blackened DLC titanium. Diamond-like carbon, a very hard material, very scratch resistant. You can see the clasp, usually the part of a watch that's in harm's way. No scratches, no scuffs here, so it holds up well. It's a very smart system, twin trigger release, single fold deployant, but then there's this push button micro sizing mechanism that's built in that's easy to miss. You can see there are a couple of detents built in, so you have about 5 millimeters of adjustment to fine tune the fit here, and it is a push button, so it's not going to move on its own. There's a conforming profile of the strap. It fits the slope of the lugs, but also the arc of the case, so it's a completely integrated look, and although the strap could be overwhelming if it wanted to flare out, it actually juts straight down out of the lugs. So there's no virtual flare or virtual size to the case imparted by the strap. The case is a combination of satin and polish, and you can see with DLC you're still able to satinate and polish titanium. You execute and then you include the diamond-like carbon by PVD methodology. So you have those facets that are satinated as well as polished for a subtle contrast. We have two crowns. One allows you to wind and activate the dynamo lighting. The other, which is a screw down, allows you to set and wind the movement that tells the time. The watch is 50 meters water resistant. It is a retrograde. It is a regulator. It is a fluidic display. It is all of those things at once. So let's talk about the basics. What do I mean when I say it's a fluidic display? Well, it means we have a constant seconds indicator. We have a minutes indicator over a sapphire disc, and then we have this little silica tube, and that runs all the way around, and it has two fluids. It looks like one, but it's two, and they're immiscible, so they don't mix. So you have a clear fluid and a blue fluid. There are two bellows, two reservoirs, and they push and they pull each other. The little meniscus between them represents the current hour. That is the hour of the moment. Now, because I have hours, minutes, and seconds separately, it is a regulator. Separate hours, minutes, and seconds displays. Now you can see, because I have a 12-hour span here and there's 24 hours in a day, something has to give. So right now it is almost 5 o'clock. Now it is 5 o'clock exactly. See, at the index at 60 at 5 o'clock. Now watch what happens when I hit 6 o'clock. I get down to 6 and it retrogrades all the way back. Now, a note about Loom. The watch is actually quite well loomed, to the point where you can easily see the movement of the meniscus around the dial. But this is the H4, and it has more. A dynamo lighting system that makes it clear as day. You can readily observe the time and just have fun playing with your watch in the toy-like sense. This is a truly spectacular timepiece. Case back look when the light is on. The watch includes a movement based on the original H101. This is the caliber H401. The change is the addition of the dynamo lighting system. Now, what hasn't changed is that the movement is designed by Chronode for HYT. Chronode is a very impressive movement manufacturer. They've built an entry in the Harry Winston Opus series. They've done work for brands all over the industry, usually heavy-duty engineering of high complications. What they've done here is they've created a conventional manual wind 65-hour power reserve Swiss lever movement. There's a power reserve indicator on the dial. It turns from blue to blank, so I'll wind right here just so you can see that when it's fully wound, the entirety of that little arc is blue. But it has a 65-hour power reserve. It beats away at 8 beats per second. It pivots on 35 joules, and it has a conventional full balance bridge with a Swiss lever escapement. The way the fluid display operates is that the mechanical movement drives a cam system that compresses and decompresses these bellows, and that is how the fluid moves across the dial. Now, some people ask me, what about temperature? Can it get too hot or too cold? Yes, but not on the wrist. While there is technically an upper bound and a lower bound for the temperature in which this watch can operate, HYT has actually tested on human wrists and found that in extreme hot weather, the wrist cools the watch, and in extreme cold weather, the wrist warms the watch, with the result that the watch can never actually exceed its operating temperature range as long as it's being worn. So that's important to remember. It's nicely decorated, a combination of hand finish and machine finish, and it looks unlike anything else front or back. HYT is back. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.